Hello team, here we are and it's race week, and I want to give you a quick guideline to make sure that you dial in your hydration and nutrition with some other race week considerations put in, because your training's done, you're prepared, and the only way that you can really stuff up race day is by making some mistakes this week. And I want to prevent you from doing that by making sure that you make the right decisions, both in the time leading up to the race and race day itself. So here's some simple steps to help set up a great race day for you. Let's talk about pre-race hydration. Key here is to make sure that the days leading up to the race, you just drink to thirst. Drink how you normally do. Drink as much as you normally do. There's no need to overhydrate. I'm going to say that again. There's no need to overhydrate. Just drink what you normally drink. And then the reason is because this will actually, if you take in too much water, this will flush out some electrolytes out of your system. So even if you're putting some electrolytes into your water, like a salt or say a noon tablet or something like that, again, no need to overhydrate. Just drink what you normally drink. You can put a little bit of salt or electrolyte in there and that's fine. That will help your tissues retain some of that water that you're drinking. But just drink what you normally drink and drink to thirst. Now let's talk about nutrition. Again, same principle applies here. Eat what you normally eat. There's no need to all of a sudden change what you normally eat because it's race week. Just stick to the foods that work for you, that you know that you can digest, that work well for you leading up to race day. I would strongly suggest to avoid carb loading outside of your normal pre-race routine. So again, eat what you normally eat. You're naturally carb loading because you're doing less training right now and you're eating as you normally do. This is natural carb loading. You do not need to take in excessive amounts of carbs leading up to the race. Just eat what you normally eat and you'll be a-okay on race day. The next thing is to eat to satisfied and not stuffed. Again, this is all about your normal routine, so it's important to, when you sit down and eat, that you eat until you're comfortable but not stuffed, because this will help you digest the food and absorb the nutrients. So eat slowly and take time to chew completely each bite. This will help improve the digestion of your food and the absorption of it as well. And stay away from excessive eating and drinking of sports nutrition products at the expo. Okay? You go to the expo, get in there and get out. You don't want to be spending an excessive amount of time on your feet at expos, and especially not eating and drinking things at the expo that you're not used to having. And it's just extra calories that your body doesn't need. If you want to try something, they'll have blocks there and other things. You can take a very small amount. It's like sampling, a small bit of food. Take like a 1/16 of a teaspoon of that piece. Just put it in your mouth so you can see what it tastes like, and that's it. You don't need to take the full sample and have all these drinks and food. All that's going to do is, again, add excessive amount to your gut, and it's food that you're not used to eating, so you want to stay away from that. And again, follow your plan, or do a bit less as far as your training is concerned, but never do more than your training. There's no point in trying to jam extra training in at this point. The work is done. All it's going to do is add extra fatigue. So the training you do in race week is just about keeping your routine so your body stays used to exercising, because it's used to training now. You just keep that routine, but you're doing a lot less of it. Now, logistics. I would suggest doing your course recon by Friday morning at the latest. So if you arrive Thursday, try to get it done Thursday night if you can, if it's light enough, or I would do it Friday morning at the latest. Follow the to-do list found on the goal sheet that I provided you so that you make time for the things that you need to get done, from your race meetings to your package pickup to checking your bike in to the group training sessions, all those things, make sure that you go through your schedule and you have it blocked out. This is super important. Let your family know who's with you, when you'll be gone, and for how long. You want to set the expectations with them so you minimize the stress for the day. So they're not expecting you to be with them when you're out having to do something else. Nail that down, have that discussion so it's out of the way and everybody understands what's going on. Limit excessive time on your feet or in the sun. So make sure you're wearing a hat, you got sunscreen on, you're not spending a whole lot of time walking through the expo, like I said, or shopping or whatever. Make sure that if you need to go out and do something, great. Otherwise, you're just chilling out and relaxing. Do some flexibility and soft tissue work if you're feeling a little bit antsy, kind of sitting around. Pre and post training that we do is the best time to do this kind of work. But again, if you're feeling a little antsy or wanting to do some things, you can do some light flexibility work or mobility as well. Don't forget your race day nutrition and hydration. Put a note, an alarm on your phone to remind you to pack it the morning of the race. Many of people have forgotten this, and you want to make sure that you bring this to the race. Pre-race race day, knowing how the conditions will affect you. So when it gets hot, the sweat increases, your core temperature rises, and your skin temperature rises. So all of these things contribute to the stress on your body. So these are the things you have to manage. It's going to be 25 degrees, 26 on race day. So temperature regulation begins with skin cooling. So water on the skin, ice, cooling sleeves, and then your hydration, your water and electrolytes. All these things help to regulate your core temperature. Lighter color material next to the skin. That's why our team jerseys are white for the most part. Shorts doesn't matter so much. Obviously a darker color because things can happen, but again, lighter color next to the skin is always better. Go slow through your aid stations. So call out what you need ahead of time. Receive it with a bent arm. This is important on the bike because if your arm's straight out and you try to grab that bottle, what can happen is the contact point of the bottle and your volunteer, they're going the opposite direction that you are. So if your arm's straight out without any flex, you can't absorb the shock of getting that bottle, and you can be ripped right off your bike. I've seen it. So make sure when you reach out, call out what you need, come in with a bent arm so you can absorb that handoff with your arm without disrupting your balance on the bike. And make sure you say thank you. You want to make sure that you grab early at the aid station. You should always have a bottle to consume, so whether it's water or electrolyte, and then your next bottle to grab is a bottle of water to spray on your body from the aid station to help keep you cool. So bottle to consume, then bottle to spray, and do that early on in the aid station. So on the bike, use the water from the aid station to keep your head and body cool. So pouring the water bottle on your head, make sure it's towards the back of your head so it doesn't get your glasses all wet on the back. And then make sure your fueling plan is followed and your fluid and hydration is accessible and nutrition is accessible so you can get it. Okay. Run. So when you get to the run, having a cold towel in T2, washing your face off can be super helpful. Rinsing your mouth out. Wear a hat to keep the sun off your head and hold ice in on the run. Ice down the top, holding it in your hands can help as well. Avoid the spritzers on the course because that water actually just sitting on your skin can actually make you hotter. You want to make sure that whatever water is put on is washed off, and then try to keep water off your shoes. I always put an extra pair of socks and chafing cream and special needs in case I get any spots or need to change my socks that need taking care of, any blister spots or rubbing. Again, when you go through the aid stations, grab early, call out what you need ahead of time so the volunteer knows and they can get that stuff ready for you. Again, take cups to consume first and then cups to spray or splash on your body secondly. Okay. And remember, for all of your nutrition on the bike and the run, drip, drip, drip your nutrition and hydration. No big servings at a time. That will be easier in your gut. Make sure if it's a solid, you're chewing it right down to liquid form before you swallow it. Small bits at a time. Follow your plan and adjust as needed. That's what the day is about, managing the day. You might want to avoid compression gear as it will most likely keep you hot, but cooling sleeves will help keep the sun off you and retain some water as well. If you don't feel like drinking or eating, this can be a temperature regulation issue, meaning your core temperature is too high. Start by slowing down and begin slow rehydration with water and sodium. Salted fruit can help if you're feeling up to it. Chicken broth or sucking on pretzels with water chaser can also help with increasing the hydration level. If you're feeling bloated or nauseous, slow down, cool the body, and stick with water and sodium. It will be over soon, so just keep charging. Whatever the hard spot that you get through, manage it, but don't get stuck on it. Know that it will be over soon, so just keep taking care of your body and managing it as you need to. A note about pacing, especially on the run, when the heat gets at 25 degrees or higher, your goal pace might slow, 4 to 8 seconds per kilometer. So you want to make sure that you slow down in the first 5K. So keep your pace under control there. And then stay focused on form cues and breathing. This is super important. So always stay in the moment, stay focused on your form cues, stay tall, eyes forward, relax the shoulders down, keep the feet under the hips, quick arms, quick feet. All those form cues can really help you. Post-race, protein-based drink can be super helpful, having a 20-gram serving of protein. Salted tomatoes, cucumbers, salted watermelon, watery vegetables and fruits can be super helpful in helping you bounce back. Again, how much salt? Just a small pinch per serving is fine. And that is your guideline for race training this race week and managing both the time leading up to the race and also the race itself. If there's any questions, please let me know.